Welcome back on board the Supercede yacht for the Reinsurance podcast here at Monte Carlo. And this time we've got Chris Parish, who is the Market Innovation Leader at Lockton Re.
That's
I got that right. Yeah.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Good question. So I'm working on delivering on the promise of being born digital. So if you've wandered around, you'll have seen Lockton's promo materials that say that. So for a young reinsurance brokerage with no legacy platform issues, there's potential to use technology to make the market more efficient, and obviously that will be in many people's benefits, but in particular for the customers.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Lockton made a really strong impression.
So
actually.
We're quite aligned in that mission.
So how do you find it being here at Monte Carlo, which is an in-person event? We're all catching up around places like this, not necessarily on yachts. How do you weave a technology conversation into all that?
Yeah, it's a good question that I'm learning how to do on the fly. But the first part of being in person, it's very useful, especially post-COVID lockdowns, less travel, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just to remind people who you are.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're not a broker in a previous role, or if you're taking a tech role, it's definitely good to remind people who you are, and everybody's here, literally. So I think I was a little bit skeptical pre-being here, and then converted.
Oh, very good.
Tech is, whether you can weave that into the conversation depends on the people and their interest level, and of course the agenda, but people are pretty receptive for at least a short conversation.
Yeah, I think so. I think it seems, because again, coming from a technology reinsurance angle as well, I would say that there's not a lack of interest. People are just quite choosy, right, about who they trust. So again, even though it's a technology conversation, it still comes back to a relationships kind of angle. Like, who do I actually trust to deliver technology that's going to do something useful? But that's exciting. So tell us a bit about your journey to Lockton Re, because obviously you've joined one of the very exciting, newer brands in the market. What led you there?
So I suppose you could say it's a personal interest, right, in this project. And looking around, there was only a small number of places that I would consider, I suppose, as a sort of a rational place to be. So I'm there because I believe that they have a chance to make a difference on this topic for various different reasons, whereas I don't believe that about many other places. And I also wanted to do something different, having spent quite a long time at Cat Fund, that most people know, and just, doing that again was, I suppose it's attractive, but it wasn't very attractive as a concept. I wanted to do something different. So
yeah, I'm sure the crossover of the experience will be very helpful, nonetheless. But
yeah, and we'll see how the hurricane season goes, but it's nice not to have to worry about it for a year.
Absolutely. And where do you find, because I think for us, one of the entertaining things we kept running into was that when people start talking about technology in our space, where we've got a heavily intermediated space, like a lot of outsiders are like, oh, well, disintermediation should be the answer, surely we just cut out the brokers, or some people say cut out the underwriters, and so on and so forth, and people in the industry then go, oh, here we go again. I found in a lot of conversations that actually brokers seem to be a real source of great tech, an aggregation point almost. Is that something that you're seeing as well, when you've got
brokers have a lot of different needs, right? So they're solving a lot of different problems simultaneously. That's true of all the broking shops, and so they're actually, as a group, quite innovative. And one of the ways, if you look at the software platforms that's out there, a lot of it came from brokers, spin-offs or
completely
still allied. So it's because they're embedded in so many different things that you need an approach. So I think that's going to continue, and very obviously very hard to disintermediate from that position, but equally it's like I don't think it's a disintermediation story. I think it's a let's just stop doing things we don't need to do story and focus on the things that bring value to the market.
That's exciting.
The thought process and the consulting activities, if you like. Not the moving spreadsheets around.
Indeed. No, couldn't agree more. Well, I very much look forward to spending a bit more time around the event with you and coming to visit the Lockton Re space as well.
Yeah, pop by.
But what are you most looking forward to over the next couple of days?
Actually, the sort of random encounters at this point, right?
Yeah.
So I've got had a meeting scheduled, but like I'm just going to wander for an hour and a half and bump into a few people. So,
Excellent plan. Yeah, it seems to be.
It's quite good value.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for joining us on the boat. In any case,
You're
pleasure
welcome. Thanks
having you
for
here.
hosting me.
No, you're welcome, and we'll see you later on, I'm sure. But, yeah, see you soon. Thanks, Chris.